If you're expecting a baby, it can feel like your whole life is suddenly one giant shopping list, right? But what if I told you the most important prep work has nothing to do with buying stuff? Today, we're building a real roadmap, one that focuses on creating a strong, resilient foundation for your new family.
I mean, seriously, you've seen them everywhere. The ultimate nursery checklist, the must-have registry, the perfect hospital bag. It's enough to make anyone feel like they're totally drowning in advice and to-dos before the baby even gets here.
But here's the secret. True preparation goes so much deeper than that. It's the emotional, the logistical, and the relational work you do beforehand that really sets you up for a smoother, more confident journey into parenthood.
I want you to think of it like you're building a house. You wouldn't just start throwing up walls and putting on a roof without first pouring a solid foundation, right? Of course not. That's exactly what we're going to do here. Map out the core pillars you need to build a life for your brand new family.
So, every good house starts with a blueprint. For us, that's the emotional work. It's all about getting your head, your heart, and your partnership ready for this massive, incredible life change.
This quote just nails it. We're sold this myth of the perfect, always happy parent. But the reality? It's totally 100% normal to feel excited one minute and completely terrified the next. Just acknowledging that whole mix of feelings is the first, most important step. A huge piece of that emotional work is getting on the same page as your partner. Think of these conversations as laying the cornerstones for your parenting team. Talking openly now about who's doing what you both believe in, and how you'll stay connected, trust me, it can prevent so much stress down the road.
Here's a perfect example: the partner's role during birth. There is no one right way to do this. Maybe you're a hands-on coach, or a supportive teammate, or an enthusiastic cheerleader. The key isn't which role you pick, it's that you decide together on what feels right and supportive for both of you.
And this is where all that prep work pays off. Because when the flood of unsolicited advice comes, and oh, it will, you'll have a unified front. A simple, confident phrase like this lets you set a boundary without starting a fight, all because you've already made your decisions as a team.
Okay, with our emotional blueprint drafted, it's time for Section 2, pouring the concrete. We're talking about the logistical foundation. These are the practical pillars: your finances, your parental leave, the legal docs that give your family real-world security.
Let's be real. This stuff can feel overwhelming, but tackling it before the baby arrives is a game changer for your stress levels. Now pay close attention to those timelines. You've only got about 30 days after birth to get your baby on health insurance and things like life insurance and updating your will to name a guardian. You want to get that done during pregnancy. This isn't just boring paperwork, it's buying peace of mind.
Planning your parental leave also needs a solid game plan. Every company's policy is different, so starting those chats with your boss in HR about 3 to 4 months out is so important. This way, you can ensure a smooth handoff at work and really, truly focus on your new family when the time comes. All right, let's move on to pillar number 3, setting up your home base. Now we get to talk about the physical space and the gear, but we're going to focus on what's functional and, most importantly, what's safe.
Ah, yes, the question that sends so many parents into a late-night scrolling spiral. The market is just flooded with gadgets and gizmos. So, what do you actually need for your baby's health and safety?
Let's just cut through all the noise. Your must-haves are all about safety and basic care. A safe place for the baby to sleep, a safe way to get home from the hospital, and the tools for basic health and hygiene. That's pretty much it. Everything else, it's just a nice to have. Focusing on this must-have list first is going to save you a ton of money and clutter.
And honestly, just as important is what not to buy. Things like crib bumpers or loose blankets. They might look cute, but they are considered dangerous because they increase the risk of SIDS. And that's the bottom line always. A safe environment is so much more important than a picture-perfect nursery.
The final piece of home prep is packing that go bag. And notice how this list is broken down for the whole team: the birthing parent, the baby, and the partner. It's a great little reminder that you are all in this together. Pro tip, make sure that car seat is installed correctly long before you think you'll need it. You do not want to be figuring that out on the way to the hospital.
And that brings us to our final section: what happens after you bring the baby home. This is all about supporting each other through that postpartum period, what people often call the 4th trimester. It's a time of massive adjustment and recovery.
Knowing the difference between these two is absolutely critical. The baby blues,
Feeling a little sad or anxious, that's super common and it usually passes. But if those feelings of sadness just keep getting worse or they last longer than a couple of weeks, that could be postpartum depression. And it is so important to reach out to a doctor for professional help.
To really understand what this time is like, let's look at two numbers. First up, 4 to 6 weeks. That is the average physical recovery time after giving birth. That's a serious healing period that absolutely demands a rest.
Now here's the second number. While that major physical recovery is happening, a newborn needs to eat every 2 to 3 hours around the clock. When you put those two facts together, you really start to get a picture of just how intense the newborn phase is and why support is everything.
So, how can partners provide that critical support? This list is full of real, actionable ways to step up. Take over the household chores, handle some of the night duty with diaper changes, and just listen. Ask how they're really feeling. It's all about being an active, engaged teammate while your partner heals and you both figure this new life out.
Because in the end, that's what this all boils down to. You don't need a perfect nursery or every gadget under the sun. The real preparation is building a partnership that's strong enough to navigate all the unknowns together. It's not about having all the answers. It's about being ready to figure them out as a team. So the real question is, are you?